What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jayana, a licensed esthetician and professional makeup artist. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to show y'all how to elevate that brown eyeshadow look that, you know, everybody seems to love. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it, but I do think we can elevate it just a little bit, just to add a little bit more glam to your already good makeup look. So if you want to learn that, just keep on watching. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, leave a positive comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and also click that bell right next to the subscribe button so that you are notified of all my uploads. Happy New Year, y'all. We are here in 2025, so let's get started with this education. All right, so the first way that you can elevate your already soft glam brown shadow makeup look is to invest into skin prep. Invest into learning more about the skin ingredients. Now, I can make a whole tutorial, I can make a whole video speaking about skin. I can speak on that forever, but I'm not gonna do that in today's video. But please just make sure you do the research. That's gonna be very important, especially on your skin type, and make sure that you are following those steps. When you're consistent, you will see better results. I know that sometimes we can try a product and think it doesn't work, but you only use it one time. Have consistency in your skincare routine, and also prep your skin first before you place that makeup on. I know a lot of times I see complaints about flakiness of the makeup. It's not lasting long, the creasing. Now, some things you can't beat. We can't help the fact that as we age, we get lines and wrinkles, you know, or sometimes we just get older. We can't beat all those things, but there are ways to prevent those things, and it is ways to make the product better at applying. And I think the best way to do that is prepping the skin. So do your research. If you want me to make a video, just let me know and I will help y'all out. But do your research on your skin prep. The next thing, let's step up your eyebrow game. So I have done my eyebrows in 20,000 techniques since I learned how to do them back in 2016. But my eyebrow tutorial today is very simple, but I love the way also too how it is very natural. So what I like to do with my brows is powder my brows down using some loose setting powder. You can also use a pressed powder that may come in a little compact. You can use a pressed powder, but I like using a loose setting powder on a little brush just to brush those down, mattify and dry those hairs up. And I am just taking the powder, that same powder that I will be using later on in my video today, and we're just gonna brush that through like. All right, another thing you could do with your brows is invest in a really good brow gel. I love using this one from Got To Be. It is the brow and edge gel. Now, you can't use this on your edges, but I'm not using this on my edges, but it is great on the brows. If you have just very frustrating brow hairs that just will not lay down, invest in a good brow gel. And you want to lay your hairs down first before you go in and fill it in with products. I find this to be better because I don't have to place this wet product on top of the brow product that I use. And what that may do is they may, you know, clash with each other, and that makeup, that brow makeup, may get smeared. So I like to lay down the brows first and then go in with my brow product. And I like using a brow pencil. So you're gonna work this gel through, go with the growth, and then go against the growth, just to ensure that all product is in those brows. It has a little spoolie, and then it has this little flat side as well. So you wanna use the spoolie to brush the product in, and then you want to use the flat side to lay the product down. You see this little white residue right here? Just wipe that off. Let that dry. It may take about 30 seconds, but we don't want to rush the makeup. I say this year, give yourself some time if you really want a full beat. What I'm going to do is go in with my concealer and carve out the bottom of my brows. I like using a concealer that is as close to the shade of my lid space, or it could be a little bit lighter in order to make those shadows pop. But sorry, y'all. The concealer I'm using today is the Dermablend Professional Concealer, Full Coverage Concealer in the shade 58 Neutral. Get you a makeup plate. I no longer want to see anyone pump anything else onto their skin. Okay? Pump it onto a plate, or get you those little disposable plastic hand things. Put you on a glove. Get you there's palette paper if you don't want to use a plate. But stop pumping the stuff on your face. This is what's gonna help with really elevating your look, by using the brushes that you have. So I am going to dispense some of that concealer onto my plate here. When we did makeup, especially for State Board, you had to dispense every single thing onto your palette. And that was every single product except like the eyeliner and the mascara. But even with that, with the mascara, you were using two different spoolies on separate eyes. And that was in order to teach you how to disinfect properly. So I'm trying to teach y'all how to be safe, sanitary wise. This is gonna help with giving you that natural shape of your brow. And it's gonna help with the guide to filling in your brows. A little bit more concealer onto my plate, and use that concealer and drag it down to my lid space. I do use concealer as my primer for my shadows. I love using full coverage primers. Full coverage concealers, as you can see with this one, because it just makes everything look very even. And I think everybody has concealer by now in their kit. So I think it's best to use your concealer instead of like searching around all around the makeup world to find an eye primer that's actually gonna work. I think concealers are just as good. If you want to get into those very small spots, especially under here, take your small eyeshadow brush such as this one, and you can blend it out under as well. Alrighty then. So what I'm gonna do is actually set this concealer using some setting powder, loose setting powder. And I like to use a translucent powder. I don't like to use a colored powder because I don't want to brighten or, I don't want to add any brightening to my eyes. I just want it to set. And I like using translucent powders anyway because I don't like too brightness under my eyes. You want to set that concealer in order so that it does not move whenever you place on your shadows, or if you're going to use your bronzer, whatever you're going to use onto your lid. I think that now's the time to invest in an eyeshadow palette. Okay, hear me out. It's okay to use some color. I'm not saying that you have to be as advanced as a P. Louise. You know, if you've seen P. Louise's style, or how she, cuts those creases, how she just adds all that detail into her eyeshadow looks. I'm not saying you need to be at that level yet. I don't even think I'm at that level. I probably could do it, but it would not be P. Louise level. But I do think it's okay to use some color. Even if you want that little bit of brown, because that's what you're comfortable with, and there's nothing wrong with that. Adding a pop of color into the inner corner, or adding a color eyeliner into your waterline, just to elevate the look. There's nothing wrong with brown eyeshadows, y'all. I'm gonna keep saying that, but I just do think it's time for more creativity in the beauty community. Like, everything is so stagnant, in my opinion. We're so complacent. We're so stuck into this one look. It's okay to expand. It don't cost a lot, y'all. You can find an affordable eyeshadow palette at Walmart. Those Profusion Cosmetics, I have so many of those palettes because they're $5, they're pigmented, and I always get a great look with them, okay? But if all you have is your bronzers, pull those out for me. I have two bronzers here. I have this one, the Brownie Bar from Bakerie, and then I have my Juvia's Places bronzer in the shade Tan. We're going to take this dark shade right here, and that's going to be our transition shade. We're going to use the transition shade, our base shade, in order to help us to transition or move over to other shades to ensure and incorporate everything else. It just blended in very well so that it's not as noticeable that you have multiple shades on your eyes. I love using the word ombre or gradient. You most likely don't have two of them if you are a beginner, but if you just have one, pull out that one. I'm going to use two just to show y'all. So I'm taking that dark shade, the darkest shade in this tan palette from Juvia's Place. And what I'm going to do is tap it first into my crease area. Notice I have hooded lids, as you see right there. So we have some creasing right there. All I'm gonna do is pick up that brush that I used previously to blend out the concealer and also set it with the powder. And just make sure I go back in and blend that out. That tip is also gonna help you with your under eye concealer. When you're tapping into your product, always tap out the excess. But you're gonna tap into that crease space. Just go up a little bit above those folds, especially if you have hooded eyelids like myself. I tap it in before I blend it. Brush I'm using is the M518 from Morphe, one of my favorite brushes. I like going in to this area of the nose bone, of the bridge of the nose right there, and I also like to blend into the front of my brows. Blending into the front of my brows just ensures that everything comes in together. Everything's gonna look like one. And then also blending in towards the bridge of my nose helps with, if I want to, create a nose contour. But your bronzer is gonna be, especially if you are a beginner, this is gonna be great for you to use to just pop onto your eyes. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but you may think that one product is used for one thing, but that's just not the truth for makeup. That product may say something, but it doesn't mean that you can use it on another part of your face. Your blush can be used for your lips. Your blush can be used as a liquid eyeshadow. So do not be complacent with your products. Be creative with your products. Alright, so now I'm gonna do blending actions. So circular motions going into the bridge of the nose right there and also to the front of my brow. And I'm also gonna do circular motions and what I like to call windshield wiper motions. All into that crease area. Now you may be wondering,
when do you know when to stop blending?
I know when to stop blending when it gets to a point where that shade, especially the first, my transition shade, is very vivid. When it's vivid enough, I can see it where everything looks perfectly, I hate using that word because there's nothing perfect. When everything is well blended, nothing looks harsh, that's when I know when to stop. Sometimes I don't stop, but that's okay. You'll learn. The Brownie bar from Bakerie, and I'm taking this shade right here. This is actually my bronzer shade. The tan one is as well, but I like using this one, especially like in the summers. But we're gonna take that darker shade using the same eyeshadow brush, tap out the excess. And what I'm gonna do is actually put that onto the lid space. Doing it on the left eye. And all I'm doing is just tapping it in. Make sure that you're really getting, especially the top of that lash line. Juvia's Place. Taking this shade right here. Just a little bit on the brush. And I'm gonna blend in between where I place that brown from the Bakerie bronzer palette, the Brownie bar palette. And we are just gonna blend that out, especially around those edges, just to ensure that everything is blended out very well. This is also from Wet n Wild. It's their MegaLiner, just in the shade brown. I'm taking this angled brush here. Here's a tip, y'all. If you want to elevate that brown shadow look, add your wing. Hey, you want to elevate it a little bit more? Add a colorful wing. Ooh. I should do that. Going out from the corner of the eye. Gonna be perfect, and that is absolutely okay for me. This is why I'm using this angled brush here and not the one that came with this. I don't want my liner to be so prominent looking. I actually want it to be a little smudged because I'm gonna smudge it out a little bit just to close the gap a little bit, and that's that. I'm not doing it anymore. We're gonna smudge this out using that brown shade, that darker brown shade, that bronzer. Taking a pencil eyeshadow brush, and we're gonna smooth this out. Both bronzers. And just put that down on the bottom. All right. Now, another tip to elevate, we're gonna take this Nude pencil from Essence Cosmetics. Put that into the waterline. And what this is gonna do is make your eyes look a little bigger. Notice how you put black on and your eyes look small? Well, my eyes are already small. Pulling out this palette from Beats by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's the In the Buff palette. And she has a lot of shimmers in this palette. And so with the outfit that I'm wearing today, I think maybe a little bit of silver will look cute. So what I'm gonna do is take a flat eyeshadow brush, or actually silver gold kinda. So we're gonna use this shade right here. It's called Sun Kissed. I'm gonna take that shade and we're actually gonna pop that onto the lid. I love shimmer. This is what I mean. That just added some more to the look. Not trying to put it all over the lid, but keep it in that inner corner and bring it out a little bit more. One last step, and I am gonna go and use another pencil brush. We're gonna mix this shade called Creamy and Blondie, and we're gonna put that into the inner corner. Yeah. That is how you elevate your eyes. That's how you elevate your eyes, y'all. So try it out for yourself. So now let's move on to the face. Eee! If you prep your skin off really well, you probably won't need to put on a primer. But if you want your makeup to last a little bit longer, or if you have texture on your face, or if your pores are a little bit bigger, or if you have some issues where you want to blur out your skin a little bit more, incorporate a primer into your skin prep. So the primer that I'm going to use is the Face Glue. It's a gripping primer from NYX. I love using a gripping primer. I was going to say a nipping primer because I like the long-lasting effect that it does for my makeup. And I am going to be out for some time, and I want my makeup to last today. So we're going to incorporate this gripping primer over my face. And I'm even going to go under the eyes as well. Another tip, just thought about it. You're having trouble with creasing under your eyes? Use an eye primer. Put the eye primer under here, or take a gripping primer, put that under your eyes, let it settle in, go in with your concealer as usual, use your setting powder as usual. Tell me how that works for you. I've seen, and I've also done it on myself, that my eyes don't crease. I don't see any creasing. I just see smoothness throughout the day. Try it out for yourself. Tell them Jayana said try it. Now, if it don't work for you, don't come to Jayana. All right, while that primer is drying, we're gonna jump right into the brows. One way to elevate your brows, I already told you about laying them down, but let's talk about filling them in. So, start at the tail. I like to be a little bit more heavy-handed when it comes to the tail of my brows. If you notice with your brows, mine are fuller than some. My daddy's jeans. But if you notice with your brows, in the front of the brows, they don't grow as much, right? At least for some of us. Some of us have full brows all around. But for some of us, it's a little lighter in the front. But as you get to the tail, it gets a little bit more fuller. Which is why whenever I'm filling in my brows, I am a little bit more heavy-handed when it comes to the tail, or making that tail a little bit more darker than I would in the front. Pay attention to the growth of your brows. My brows in the front grow upwards, and then these grow over like this way. We're gonna create those strokes, create those hair-like strokes using my pencil in the exact same way. Your spoolie is also gonna help you too with blending in that product. All right, y'all, foundation. So what I'm gonna do is use my favorite foundation, which is e.l.f.'s Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I have it in the shade 50 Deep Warm. Now that the temperature has cooled down, now that the climate is a little bit more colder, the sun is out, but we're not out in the sun like we would in summer, you know, get a little tan. My skin shade is not the same shade as this anymore. So I have to neutralize it. So this is a step for your foundation. A lot of times brands, especially with us darker skinned women, with black women, let's just call it how it is, the foundations on the market are either red, or you're a cool tone girl, but you look gray. There's hardly any that I've seen, except with like House Labs. That's the only brand I've seen because they actually use green pigment into their foundations. Typically, most brands are going to use red, white, yellow, and blue. Those are your primary colors, except for white. But you don't really see green, which is more of a complementary, a secondary color. You don't really see green being used, and that green actually is going to cancel out some of that red tone, especially in the shades that I've seen. All the black women looking like red clay. A lot of us are not that shade. Honestly, a lot of us have neutral tones, and we've been told that we have warm tones, or we do have a warm tone. It's just that when it gets colder, your shade changes. I mean, look at when you think of migration and you think about the people that migrated to certain areas and all of a sudden their skin tones became lighter because they went to a cooler climate. Look it up, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. But what I like to do when I have a warmer foundation is just neutralize it using a blue pigment, such as this one I get off Amazon. Blue is right across from orange on the color wheel, meaning that they are complementary shades, meaning that they cancel each other out. So you have an orange tone such as this one. If I put this on now, it is going to look a little too warm for my liking. It may not look like it on camera, but I know when I go look in these mirrors around my apartment, or I go outside and take a picture and I look at my neck and it's not the same shade, I know that this foundation was too warm. So my thing for 2025, especially if brands are going to keep making base color foundations, concealers, whatever that you're using, cream, liquid, whatever on the face, make sure that you are actually working with cosmetic chemists to make the shades valuable and good for all skin tones. You can't please everybody, and I completely understand that, because at the end of the day, it is a business. But some shades, like, come on. Why is it that that shade is so orange and red? Who is that orange? Who is that red? Who do you have in your labs truly working with darker skin tone, brown skin tone women and men? Just saying. But that's my rant. Sorry. Anyway, taking like one pump of this foundation, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the pigment. We're going to do one little drop first. All right. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it definitely did neutralize it. Let me put an example. Let me put the original shade up here. Do one little dot. My top gonna feel. Oh. All right. So that is with the pigment. This is without the pigment. It neutralized it. It's gonna match me way better than the original. And that's not saying that the formulation of the foundation isn't good. It's just the tone of it. And I think brands can do a little bit more, a little bit better on doing that. Especially if you're gonna have these people on your PR teams and promoting your stuff. I do it in layers, and I love using this brush that I have here, which is from Michaels, by the way. It's a paint brush. And I just like painting on my face. See how it matte? If I would have used that other shade, it would have been way too warm. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Color correcting. How could I forget that? And I was literally sitting here talking about orange and blue. Let's do some color correction. So this is the orange color corrector from good old e.l.f. I use a lot of e.l.f. products. It's affordable. That's why I like using e.l.f. And what I'm actually going to do is take some of that e.l.f. and mix it in with the concealer I used from earlier. And just mix those two together. And I'm going to go under the eyes a little bit. See how that is kind of neutralizing it too? We're going to go under the nose, right here around the mouth. Go on that forehead, especially right here in this little spot, because your girl was picking at her skin, even though she preaches not to pick at the skin. Call her out.
Hypocrite.
Carve out the top of my brows. If you ever wonder, do I carve out the top of my brows? I do. I just do it whenever I do my foundation. And with a damp beauty blender, using the butt of it, and we're gonna blend out the foundation by doing some tapping motion. The reason why you want to damp your sponge whenever you do a foundation is you want to pick up the excess foundation, and that's what the sponge is going to do. It's going to absorb that excess. And you'll notice too how skin like your foundation is going to look when you are finished. Always make sure you're doing tapping motions. I don't care if you're using a sponge or if you're using a brush, whatever you prefer. I switch between both. So take my stippling brush here, this contour, which is a contour stick in the shade Espresso. It's the matte sticks from Fenty Beauty. I have it in the shade Espresso. This really is like my perfect bronzing shade. I don't contour. The difference between those is the shade. When you're contouring, you want to use more of a cool tone. When you're bronzing, you want to use more of a warmer tone. I like to warm up the face. I like color on my face. I like warmth. I like to look sun-kissed. I don't truly mind or care for contouring because I don't care about changing the shape of my face. It's fat. That's that. So stamping it into the forehead first, because you see how this is just adding some more color into the skin. You could just, you know, wear foundation, but then you kind of gonna look a little bland. So let's add some more to it. To the cheeks, or really this area right here, not on my cheeks. Making sure that that is blended out. Got a little bit on the chin, just to add some color. And I have my blush on the back of my arm. And I'm actually gonna go in with the sponge, let that soak it up some, like this. And I'm going to pop that on to the highest points of my cheeks. And also bring it in a little bit under the eye. And I'm leaving it right there because I am about to go in and blend this out. I like this look. I like how artists have been doing this look. I like how it looks on pretty much everyone, and I mean every face shape. It's something about bringing in that blush into the eye a little bit, and then you top it off with the concealer. It makes everything just look like one. Like it really flows well with each other. So another tip with elevation. Take your blush, blend it in towards your eyes just a little bit, not completely. Top it off with your concealer, which we're going to show in just a few. Now, this e.l.f. concealer is pigmented. You can definitely blend this, build it up. One thing about it, too, is very natural. So, concealer. I am going to use this paintbrush. And I line the sides of the nose. This also helps if, you know, I want to make my nose look a little bit smaller, a little bit more contoured. Kind of do like a little reversing of it. And actually conceal the sides of it and not the middle. Alright. Drag that down just a little bit. And bring that this way some too. I like bringing it this way, especially when I have, or bringing it out, especially when I have like a wing liner, just to make that look a little bit more clean. And it kind of goes on top of the blush. And when you blend it out, you're still gonna be able to see the blush, so don't worry about that. But when you blend it out, you'll notice how all three of these shades, my bronzer, my blush, and then my concealer, just all comes together as one. That Cupid's bow, making sure that area is highlighted. Bringing it out to the eye again on the left eye. And dragging it down some. I do not let my concealer sit. I blend it out immediately. As soon as it sits, it's just gonna sit there and then it's gonna flick up. I can't do that with my dry skin. And that's that with my concealer placement. Now what I'm actually gonna do just to add a little bit more moisture. And I do think you need to add this into your makeup kit. So another tip, use this right here. Let's start that over. Morphe Continuous Prep and Set Mist. In the gold can, I have it in the jumbo. That's why it's this big. Can't believe I paid $26 for this, but it was worth it. It's gonna spritz your face. What this is gonna do, see that other one helps with, spray as much as you want to. I'm not gonna tell you how much you should spray, but I am gonna say don't do it too much. And the reason why I like spraying that is because this is gonna incorporate more of the hydration back into my skin. This contains skin care into it. Your skin is really gonna love it because it's gonna nourish your skin, strengthen your skin, and hydrate it, especially before you blend out that concealer. And the electrolytes contained in this can also helps with adding more moisture into the skin and helping you with that glow. And just go ahead and do my under eyes. And you're gonna see me use that spray again. I'm probably gonna spray my face one more time after, actually I'm gonna spray my face again after I set the concealer. All right. Why do makeup artists use so many products? Incorporating creams and liquids and powders is what's helping with that long-lasting look. You have a cream, you need to set it with a powder. I just like to think of it like this. Like, let's say you're painting, you use a primer on your walls. That primer is just gonna help making the paint last longer. But you still need to put the paint on top of it because the primer is just sitting on the wall. It's not doing anything. Same thing with your creams. Okay, you put the cream on, great. It's just gonna sit there and melt off. You need to set it. Beautifully, oh. And I am using the side where I had the blush at, and I'm just going over everything again. This is Juvia's Places powder in the shade Vanilla Bean. I had the box in there. I thought I threw away the box. But here it is. It's Vanilla Bean. This is the closest shade to my Laura Mercier Translucent Honey Powder. One of my favorite powders. It is one of the best powders. Very blurring, very smoothing. I love it. But I found this one for $25, which is less cheaper than Laura Mercier. And I love this one as well. Look at the difference. You'll need some color back into your skin. Quick little story for y'all. My German Shepherd, who doesn't live here at my apartment because they won't let German Shepherds here, or they say they won't let German Shepherds here, yet I see all types of pit bulls. And I love pit bulls, nothing against them, but why my German Shepherd can't come? Yeah. So, Bandit is his name, has been escaping. And I feel it's because German Shepherds are full of energy. They're full of energy. He probably does like miss us and wants us to be around more. But right now he's at my parents' house, which they live about 40, 50 something minutes away from where I live. But he has been escaping. Okay? He's been escaping. He's been breaking out of the cage. He's been going in other people's yards. And I really have to get a handle of that. So, thinking about purchasing a whole new cage for that dog. Because they let him out the cage. That's the thing. My parents and my siblings, they let him out the cage. They walk him around. He goes on walks. He runs. All that type of stuff. But when he shows out, he shows out. So, that's what I'm going through right now with that dog. Because he's escaped. This has to be at least like the 6th time. So, I got to do some research on cages for that doggone dog. Taking that bronzer, and I'm also blending in the front right there of the brow and a little bit into the eyes. And I went a little bit on the nose, and taking this palette right here It's a discontinued palette. I got it from Ulta not a very long time ago. I ain't even gonna lie and say not too long ago, but a very long time ago. And I'm gonna take really much these 3 shades. And notice how I'm doing it in the exact same direction that I did the liquid. Chin, and also some on the forehead. I like how bringing in the blush to those specific spots just makes everything come together. Not super dry, so we're going back in with the spray. A tip to make your lips look a whole lot better is to wipe the lips off. Wipe them off. If you got micellar water, a makeup wipe, wipe the lips. Also, exfoliate the lips. Don't forget exfoliating it too. It's skin as well. Get your little lip scrub. You actually can make you one with sugar, honey, and lemon if you don't want to buy one. And we pretty much have those products in the cabinet. So you can make your little lip scrub. Get your little toothbrush or a little silicone brush that you get off Amazon and really scrub your lips. Put you on a lip mask. I've used one from e.l.f. that y'all seen me incorporate here on the channel. I love her.
What is that?
This pencil that for some reason is very weird. From Morphe. This is in the shade Trendsetter. Do not overline your lips. Do not. If you have full lips, do not overline your lips. There's no point of overlining your lips. That's my opinion. I'm speaking on it like it's a fact. But there's no need for you to do it. Don't do it. My pencil is breaking up on this. Make me mad. I'm not mad. Don't be lying. Not to overline. It's the Nude Matte Velvet Lipstick from Juvia's Place. I have it in the shade Lady. Lip gloss that I'll be using today too is from Juvia's Place. It's their coffee shop collection, and I have it in the shade Dolce Latte. Oh, you missed my lip? I be dying laughing at video. Like, why did you do that? Yeah. All right, everybody, this is the end of the tutorial. I really hope y'all enjoyed this look. I really hope you use these tips to elevate your brown eyeshadow looks. Taking these steps, you'll really see that you truly have stepped into that new realm of glam, makeup glam, and just stepping up your makeup game a little bit. Very easy steps, very affordable products, and it won't take too much of just, you know, taking your time and adding more into the details. So thank y'all so much for watching. Look out for more tutorials coming for this year. Thank y'all so much for the support. Thank you for subscribing. I will see y'all in my next tutorial. Happy New Year, y'all. And I wish y'all a very blessed year. Mwah. May it be filled with growth, developments, and flourishment into the person that God has already set out for you to be.
What is that?